up early this year. I'm so impressed. You must have read all those great emails about parking and timing, and you got here and you got in. I've never seen our crowd this big for me to actually start at 9 o'clock. So thank you for making that happen. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Keel, and I'm the Executive Director of the Michigan Climate Action Network, and we are so glad you are here today. Are you all ready to have a great day together? Yeah. These are the advocates and change makers from across the state. Thank you to everyone who just got to participate in a lovely water ceremony. I hope that you were able to take part in that. And I just want to, again, affirm and publicly recognize and respect that there's an irreducible and ongoing relationship between Indigenous people and the land. And land acknowledgements serve to illuminate ongoing Indigenous presence and to counter the settler colonial legacies of violence and expropriation. This statement is made in relationship with living Indigenous people, communities, and nations, and is followed by our ongoing commitments to these same communities. Here in the Lansing area, we are occupying the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe, Three Fires Confederacy of Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi's people. In particular, we are on land ceded under the coercive and violent circumstances of the 1819 Treaty of Saginaw. This is your annual reminder that all 12 of the recognized federal tribes in Michigan oppose the continued operation of Line 5. Stating that Line 5 is an existential threat to the treaty-protected rights, resources, and the fundamental way of life of the Anishinaabe people. It is past time to listen to the tribes and respect treaty rights, and I'm looking forward to a facilitated discussion on Line 5 at 11 a.m. with some remarks from our Anishinaabe caucus leader, Andrea Pierce, will be at today's closing session as well. Please take our current action. It's on the screen, it's on your tables. I think we have papered pretty much everywhere with a Tell Eagle no Line 5 tunnel comment. Please make that happen. As many of you know, we, the Michigan Climate Action Network, with our tribal partners, are suing the Michigan Public Service Commission over their, As many of you are following, we went to the Michigan Supreme Court this year. I keep waiting for that decision to drop. It should be any day now. By the end of this summer term, for sure, we will know what the Michigan Public Service Commission says about our appeals to make sure that the Michigan Environmental Protection Act is followed and that climate and equity are considered. Yeah, you're going to hear a lot about the Michigan Public Service Commission today, so I just want you all, if you're not familiar with that agency or that term, get used to the acronym MPSC today, okay? It is the one agency that determines the state of our energy future and who's going to pay for it. The Michigan Public Service Commission regulatory system needs to be rewired to take back the grid for renewable energy. And in this room today, the next two sessions are going to focus on exactly that. How to take on the state's two largest utilities, Consumers Energy and DTE, who are soon filing their integrated resource plans. And we want to make sure they actually include climate and equity in those and follow the 2023 Clean Energy Law. Yeah, you can clap for that. We're also going to be talking about all the good news in this room today. Renewable energy siting, virtual power plants, battery storage. The advances are clear, the most affordable choices here. If you go to both of those sessions, I encourage you to at some point leave this room today. There are concurrent sessions that run at the 11, 1:30, and 3 o'clock hours right next door to me in C. We're kicking off the day with a couple presentations in the morning where I really hope folks can get to know each other. So some of the workshops that go on first thing this morning are a youth pathways to climate action. It's nice to see a lot of young people out here today. Yeah, if you had to think about it, it's not you. Where are all of our University of Michigan fellows? There they are around here. Yay! You're going to hear a little bit more about that today. We are so excited to be hosting 24 University of Michigan students in 14 MyCan member group organizations this summer. Do not miss, the Red Cedar Room is right around the corner. They all contributed to posters that describe their summer projects and the member hosts that they are working with, along with a beautiful art gallery that our staff commissioned climate art from around the state. So don't miss talking to all of them. It would not be a MyCan Summit without climate, art, and culture. The other workshop that we put early in the day is our media and storytelling workshop. And I put that at the beginning of the day because you're gonna learn some skills about how to use one of our best tools to fight the climate crisis. It turns out to be this little phone. Being able to take and record short form video and put it out there in the world. And there's a lot of students here doing that today. You're all gonna learn how to do that. And we wanted to put that early in the day because I expect to see you all out here using those skills on all of these speakers, on me, all day long. So please, please practice that. Of course, we don't shy away from the hard topics here at MyCan. We'll be taking on mobilizing the climate vote, facilitating discussions on the war in Iran, and of course, data centers. Data centers are integrated throughout the program today. We really cannot have a conversation about our energy and climate crisis without that. And there will also be a facilitated network conversation for you to just share where you are at, what your groups are doing, and the challenges that you're facing in our network nook all day. I gotta tell you, the self-organizing movement around the rapid expansion of hyperscale data centers has been incredible to watch. In my long career, I have never seen anything like it. These are the things, as a political scientist, we used to talk about how movements begin and how they organize and how people begin to feel their power and their civic engaged again. For us, we are trying to support that community self-determination. And we see data centers as the ultimate environmental justice issue. And it feels like we're asking some important, but frankly a little narrow questions. We're about affordability and energy use, but at MyCan, we're here for the bold solutions. And these times are about a little bit more than that. These times are about our ability to build power for the people, because that's what they are really trying to do. Affordability is a great goal. It's gonna be a huge electoral topic, and that clean energy is now the most affordable way. That is a message we need to get out there, but it's also, again, just a modest goal as far as we're concerned at MyCan. Designing a society where the system works for everyday people by default, now that's a vision worth fighting for, folks. We're ready to rewrite that blueprint because it is us against the billionaire class, folks. And part of that power shift is holding candidates accountable this election season. We are launching a climate voter hub with a new twist this year. If you go to that media session or you come see me in the Mobilizing the Climate Vote session a little bit later today, we'll be talking about our bird dogging campaign, folks. Uh-oh, get ready, get ready. Are you willing to ask candidates some hard questions and record their responses with all the skills you're gonna learn today to help us make climate a top electoral priority? Yes. I sure hope so, because we're coordinating groups across the state and volunteers across the state. We are working with some incredible teams and communications folks. It's gonna be so much fun too, you all. Asking candidates about our clean energy laws and how they're going to stick to that. Come to those sessions and learn more about how to take those videos and what that program is all about later today. Again, the goal of today and this movement is to build power for all of us to uplift the solidarity and collective action and recognize the courage that it takes. Our theme this year is collective courage. It takes courage to continue to speak up and defy the status quo. That's what we think we need most in this movement. I'm gonna borrow a line from the comms director of Groundwork Center. Jeff Smith's out there somewhere. Thanks for writing a great piece the other day, Jeff. He says, stop for a moment to consider that one of the most powerful governments the world has ever known, the Trump administration, and one of the most powerful industries the world has ever known, big oil, have aligned in a massive attack to shut down the clean energy industry. Who can stand up to such an alliance of the most powerful government and powerful industry that is actively attacking our movement and clean energy and killing us with fossil fuels. Are you going to be with me? Who's going to stand up? Yeah? It's going to be you and me, folks. I'm counting on all of you to muster the courage in collection. We do not need to do this work alone. Look at this movement. There will be 400 of your new best friends here today to do this work with you. Clean energy is surging forward, and so must we. What stands in the way is not technical possibilities and even policy. As you'll hear today, those solutions are at the ready. What stands in the way is the hard but critical work that MyCan does, organizing a movement to build behind it and support it. That is our mission, and we are here to make sure everyone finds their role in the climate movement. We're going to give you lots of actions to take today: a federal bill to reinstate clean energy tax, hold folks accountable. They're on the screens, they're on your tables. Again, we're the Climate Action Network. We know that people all over the world are choosing clean energy and seeing the United States federal system for the house of cards that it truly is. Because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Now let's get on with it, eh? Collective courage embodies the theme of our mystery speaker. Some of you might recognize already who's sitting in the front of the room here. There was a little poll. We've been keeping it a secret because it's no joke out there doing this work, and we try to keep some of those locations privileged so that she can be safe. That's literally the status of our world, folks. But our first speaker hardly needs an introduction to this crowd, as she embodies the theme of courage in all of her actions. We were so honored to award Attorney General Dana Nessel with our 2023 Climate Champion Award for her exceptional work in holding Enbridge accountable for Line 5. And since then, she has initiated an antitrust lawsuit against major oil companies to pay for the damages that they have caused. She has challenged the Trump administration on numerous fronts, standing up for the people of Michigan on data centers. Thank you. We are so lucky to have such a talented and courageous leader in our state attorney general. Please welcome to the stage Attorney General Dana Nessel.
Thank you all so very much. It's so great to be here. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it because there was supposed to be the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge, which unfortunately was canceled. Now, if instead of an international bridge crossing, we would have had an octagon cage, it definitely would have been open by now, but I digress. Anyway, I really appreciate you inviting me here to the Michigan Climate Action Network, and for this amazing summit with so many people who care so deeply about such important issues. With more than 3,200 miles of shoreline, one of the most diverse agricultural outputs anywhere in the country, and 20% of global freshwater supply, Michigan has a lot of stake when it comes to fluctuations in environmental law and policy. And at the Michigan Department of Attorney General, we take that responsibility very seriously. The challenges threatening our climate stability are grave, and they are only growing with each and every day. So it's going to take every tool in our toolbox to get us on the path towards a truly sustainable future. Now, let's talk about the national energy emergency, air quotes. You may remember that on the first day of President Trump's second term, he signed a whole slew of executive orders, but buried in that pile was an EO proclaiming falsely and improperly that the United States was experiencing a national energy emergency. Now, let's be clear. U.S. energy production remains at an all-time high. And if this order was really about jump-starting domestic energy production, it wouldn't have conveniently excluded wind, solar, and batteries, which are among the cheapest and cleanest modern energy sources that exist today. The Trump administration is crying wolf, invoking emergency authorities for non-emergency projects to keep the nation beholden to energy sources like coal, oil, and gas. You can boo that, that's fine. The executive order would fast-track fossil fuel projects, allowing them to bypass long-standing environmental review processes under important laws such as the Clean Water Act, the Endangered Species Act, and the Historic National Preservation Act. Meanwhile, the real emergency is the one Trump himself is creating. Now, over the last year and change, my office has filed, well, this is 55 lawsuits. I think now it's 56, and counting against the federal government. These are not mere policy disputes. Before taking action in any of these cases, my office considers the following. First, is what the federal government doing illegal? Does it violate the Constitution or state and federal law? Secondly, does the action harm the state of Michigan or her people in a concrete and demonstrable way? When the answer to both of those questions is yes, I am duty-bound by the oath I swore to protect this state, to intervene. And in doing so, my office has now preserved over $2.6 billion in funding for vital programming that the Trump administration tried and failed to steal from our communities. And I do mean steal because that's our money. Michigan residents and businesses pay taxes to the federal government, which are then appropriated by Congress and then sent back to our state to fund important programs our residents deserve and rely on. On the environmental front, we successfully thwarted the Department of Energy's attempt to place an arbitrary cap on reimbursement for state-run programs to weatherize homes for better efficiency, monitor supply chains, and forecast the state's future energy needs. We have sued to restore grants for the construction of electric vehicle charging ports and to unfreeze federal approvals necessary for the development of wind energy projects. And we restored $29 million in funding for municipalities to complete 24 open projects across the state, proactively fortifying their local infrastructure against future natural disasters. Now, courts across the country are finding that the Trump administration's actions violated the law. But more than that, each of these cases is an example of